Welcome to this next episode of Millennial Real Life Budget Review, where I anonymously review a real person's budget and give them advice of how to rework them to hit their financial goals. Today we're taking a look at a single mom, and the mortgage is crushing her. Stick around. Hey guys, it's Justine, your host of the Debt-Free Millennials channel. Here we talk about all ways to help you achieve financial confidence, crush debt that leads to more fun and fewer payments. And today I'm taking a look at a single mom who is an educator living in San Diego, one of my favorite cities. As you guys know, I lived in San Diego for about 8 years, and the high cost of living is crushing. So I just want to go through her form first, and then we'll take a look at her budget. So she says the biggest thing that she's struggling with financially is building up my 6-month emergency fund and saving enough for a comfortable retirement. I want to retire in 2035. Guys, that is 9 years from now. Okay. Their top 2 to 3 financial goals: 1, fully funded emergency fund of $30,000. 2, save for a new vehicle when my current one no longer runs. Estimated time frame 2031. She has a 2017 Toyota Highlander hybrid. That's a car that Kyle wants to test drive. I want to pay cash for my new vehicle. 3, get to retire when I want as a net worth millionaire. Okay, so how much do you have in savings for an emergency fund was the next question. They said $27,000. And then here's where I found out a little bit more. I am a single mother of 2 boys. One of them is an adult going to college but still lives at home. He has really stepped up to help me financially by paying rent to help me with monthly expenses. I currently get no child support. This just happened recently, and my mortgage is about 48% of my income without additional income. Oh boy. I have been going through a divorce for over 5 years. Dang. And have just made it my mission to try to become financially stable without a second income. This is definitely a work in progress, for sure. Give me all your thoughts and suggestions. I've been trying to learn as much financial education as I can by reading books, watching videos, and listening to podcasts. Yay! Side note, I am 5 years ahead of being a millennial. I hope you will still decide to review my budget. Yes, I think so. This is what we're going to be doing today. And hats off to you for just really taking the time and effort to educate yourself about financial literacy and understanding the way things work, budgeting, saving, debt, investing, all of those good things. And truly, I'm so impressed that you have done all of this as a single parent. And I'm so sorry that you have had to deal with a divorce for 5 years. That's insane. Let's take a look at your budget and see how we can rework things to get you back on track. Okay. Right off the bat, I see some things that we definitely need to change. So you're bringing in a monthly income of $7,500, which is incredible. You have the additional income, I'm assuming this is from your son, of the $1,750. Then you've got $9,400 in total monthly expenses, plus what you're trying to put away for savings. We've gone negative. And I had to kind of rework the calculations. I don't think this was calculated correctly when you submitted it to me, so I'm sure things have changed. But I see what you mean about that mortgage payment. It's $3,000, so if I do 3 divided by the 7,500, it's 40% of your take home, which is way too high. So I'm curious, because you actually did say that it was 48% of your income without the additional source. So now I'm curious what this $1,750 is, if that's from your son, or I only get paid once a month. Okay, cool. So that is you. So actually, this isn't too terrible. If I could get you down to like 38%, that would be more ideal. And I think what's going to need to happen is either your son continues to pay as part of this additional income, because if that's the case, let's take a look. This plus this, 92. So then I want to see what this... Ooh, that is much better. Yeah, so if you can get your son to continue to pay, then it's only 33% of your take home, and between the two, if you can make around this, I'd say that would be ideal. Otherwise, what I think we would have to do is aim for times 0.38. So 1162 divided by, there we go. Okay, if we could just increase your income by another $500, then this is going to actually work for you. Or we could look at 0.35, 8740. So this would be a little bit of a stretch if you could go from 75 to 8,700 a month. It could be doable on your own, depending on what kind of side hustle you pick up that could earn you an extra $1,000. But I think easily we could work on getting an additional source of income for $500, and then that would help you kind of figure out, okay, I could actually afford this mortgage on my own with just my income. So something to think about. Let's take a look at the other things that are going on, because I see that you have some debts here. And then I also saw you're using the Walmart Capital One card for grocery pickup. The Chase Amazon is paid off monthly, used for gifts, school supplies, and household items. Okay, typically when I'm seeing the actual monthly payment equal to the total debt balance, then I know that these are two cards that you're actively using but also paying off every single month. But let's take a look at the highlighted one. 4% cash back on gas, 3% on restaurants, travel. Okay, so she's kind of explaining what the rewards are for the Citibank Costco card, and then what she's using to pay for the following on auto pay. Lots of different bills here on this card. And here's the one where I see, oh, actual monthly payment was $11.96. Total debt, $11.96. Okay, so that one actually looks like you have paid this one off completely. So these three things look like you are paying them off every single month in full. This one, the PayPal and the Care Credit, these have balances on them, and your actual monthly payment is less than the balance. So these are two debts that I definitely want to address. Let's take a look at your other fixed expenses. And for San Diego, since I know San Diego like the back of my hand, then I know kind of typically what to look for in terms of your utilities and other fixed expenses. Like 600 looks good. Trash, water, electricity, internet, cell phone, this all looks good. Gas is a bit high, but assume that you commute to your school. Pool maintenance. Does your house have a pool? That's interesting. Daycare, YMCA. I wonder what that is. $139 a month is super cheap. And then dogs monthly vet, pets. I mean, I'm assuming this is vet visit and food, $162. And then this area is typically the area that people underestimate. So I hope this is right. $740 on the fun stuff. Restaurants, shopping, clothing, haircut. I mean, these things look quite small. I also see that you have $25 going to gifts and maybe a sinking fund for Christmas. So I would consider reworking that. Subscriptions. It looks like you got a couple of things. Amazon, Costco, Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix, Google One, all the things. Fund money, miscellaneous of $100 buffer, and then the emergency fund, you're currently putting $1,500 in. The car fund of $200. I saw that the balance was like $120. I think there's an extra one in here. Maybe it's a $12,000 balance. Let me know. Investing, outside investing, this looks like perhaps this is for the Roth IRA, and then Fidelity. So do you have two different investing things that you're doing after you receive your paycheck? Let me know. You pretty much already have your fully funded emergency fund, but I actually want you to pull money away from the emergency fund. And again, we're going to have to kind of cancel out that so that this goes back to either a positive or zero net balance, because we can't have you going negative and spending more money than what's actually being brought in. So once I cleared that out, then I actually have $438 to play with. This is pretty much done in my opinion. And also, if I'm taking a look at your fixed expenses, you've got 5,200 in fixed expenses. So if I was doing 5,200 times 6 months, yeah, so about a $30,000 fully funded emergency fund is right for you. And you're pretty much almost there. But what I want you to do is make sure that all of these debts are paid off in full completely before you go heavy on that emergency fund. So what I did is I went over to the debt reduction calculator by vertex42.com. This is a free tool that anybody can use. And then I plugged in your stuff. So I did the Costco card, which I think you're paying off in full. Based off of what I'm seeing here, you put an actual payment of $11.96, the total debt. So let me just go ahead and zero this out. I'm gonna move this guy up. Whoop. All right, so depending on these 0% terms, whenever they're completed, I think you did say, ends May 1st, 2024. That's coming up like now. So we need to get you paying off the PayPal card immediately after this. If you put $477 already to it, then you're pretty much done with it for the next month. So that's, what is that? 1154 minus the 477. So 677 for the next month needs to go. So if I may, I'm going to duplicate your budget here. And then this is, we're basically going to delete these. This is going to be 677. Cool, that works. Then I want you focused on putting extra money towards that care credit card. So you've got a balance of $1635 on care credit. And also, I'm curious because you said on care credit that this was an emergency vet visit, dental, and meds. You didn't need to do care credit. You could have just pulled that from your emergency fund. That's what your emergency fund is for. I know you're really maybe interested in just stockpiling the cash, especially as a single parent. You're like, I just want to make sure that I'm set up and I have this almost like safety mountain of money kind of built up that you're standing on. But this is exactly what that emergency fund is for. $1,600. That's something you could easily have pulled from your emergency fund, be done with it, and then go back to funding and building up that emergency fund. So you're going to put, instead of $157, you're going to be putting more like $600 towards that care credit. So pay off PayPal, and then we're going to pay off care credit next. And then you're going to be done with it by next month. Then you're going to be debt free. Then you're going to go back to the emergency fund and start building up the rest of the money that you need. So you just need about $2,000 more. By the way, what we could do is we could temporarily put a pause on investing in Fidelity right now, just to free up a little bit more money. And you would basically have both debts paid off, and then we have $1,500. Oh my gosh. You could have both debts paid off. Then by June, you could have your emergency fund completely funded, then stop, and then you don't have to worry about the emergency fund after that because it's fully funded. Then you can go back to saving for your new car. You have plenty of time to save up for the new car. So you've got estimated time frame is 2031. You want to save for a new car. You have a Toyota Highlander hybrid. Let's see if you did Toyota Highlander hybrid. This was a car that I have been interested in buying. So MSRP is about $40,000 for 2024. So let's say that you want to come up with a car goal of about $40,000 minus the $12,000 that you already have saved. So you need $28,000 more by the year 2031. 7 years, 28,000 divided by 7 years. So $4,000 divided by 12. You just need to increase your car fund just a little bit to $325, $350. That's what I would do. And then you would have $40,000 saved by that time. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so $350, I would let that ride. And then what was the next thing? Get to retire for your net worth so that you are a millionaire. Did I tell you about Projection Lab? Projection Lab is a financial planning simulator tool that helps you track your net worth over time. You get to keep the data inside of that platform. It does not sync automatically to various financial and investing accounts. So you truly get to have that peace of mind and privacy of the numbers that you're putting in. It's a bit of a manual process, but once you add in your numbers, which honestly I think is really fun because then I get to log in and see all of my numbers, then you get to create a financial plan based off of your goals. If you want to retire when you hit millionaire net worth, you get to see at what age that happens. Then you get to make other goals such as, well, I'm going to have to buy another car after I buy that one in 2031, or maybe I want to take a vacation to Japan in 2035. What does that look like? Add in those scenarios into Projection Lab, and that's really going to help you get a sense of what retirement is going to look like for you. I think you can absolutely make this work living in San Diego with the stuff that you have. Your fund money spending is actually quite low, and you see I didn't actually change anything on fund or fixed expenses here. I'm really just working with whatever you have left over, which is honestly quite a lot of money. So very well done despite having a high mortgage payment. But even as I was thinking about this out loud and thinking, oh, well, she could just sell the house and get a newer one. I'm like, nope, because the 7% interest rate and the San Diego housing market, the way that it is right now, that mortgage payment is going to be well above that $3,000. So honestly, I think you're doing well if you can figure out how to maybe increase your income slightly by taking on a side hustle or having your son continuing to help pay for the rent or for the mortgage. I'm sorry. This is 75 plus the 1750. I mean, 9281 all in. That's a 33% budget for the mortgage, which I think is fabulous. I know it's not forever, but it works for now. And if I can get you to add $500 to $1,000 in income per month, I think you're going to be just fine, especially knowing that you've got some other things. Also, by the way, I didn't say this, but you still have $1,200 left over after these things are paid off. Actually, you've got quite more. You got $2,490. And let's say your son is like, I'm done with this. I moved out. I don't want to help you with the mortgage payment anymore. You have $740 left over. And this is where you could go back to investing your money into that Roth if you've got a Roth, or I think Fidelity, is this a taxable brokerage account? Could be a little bit of both. So you could divvy up your money in between those two things and still have money for your car fund. And if you're like, I want to invest even more, that's where you start increasing the income or reducing some of these other fixed and fun expenses here. But honestly, I think very well done with the opportunity that you presented to me. If you want your budget reviewed anonymously on the channel, fill out the Google form below. The more details, the better. This budget was filled out so completely that I was able to jump right in. So take note of that and let me know by filling out the form if you like this series. Give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join the family of thousands of millennials who are committed to achieving financial confidence and crushing debt. And I'll catch you in the next one.